He was supposed to be the cheat code, a Heisman winner who could torch you from the pocket or split your defense like a point guard in open space, a first overall pick who turned Sundays into highlights, and a rare athlete so gifted the Oakland A's spent the 9th pick of the MLB Draft on him, only to watch him choose football and change a franchise's identity overnight. For a while, it looked like Arizona had cracked the code at quarterback, and then the ground shifted. Now the face of the franchise is on injured reserve, the backup is rolling, and the calendar is circling decisions that can reshape the Cardinals for years. How did Kyler Murray get from future of the desert to is this the end in Arizona? Let's unpack the rise, the rift, the injuries, the money, and the roads that still lead out of this. Before Arizona, there was the undefeated glow of Allen High School and the soon-to-be legend at Oklahoma. One of those seasons where the box scores look like typos. Murray didn't just win the 2018 Heisman. He did it with fireworks. Big arm throws into tight windows, off-schedule magic, and track meet speed when plays broke down. That dual sport shine made him feel bigger than any one field. And when the Cardinals turned the page with the #1 pick in 2019, the fit with space and tempo concepts made immediate sense. Give a dynamic point guard quarterback a spread floor and let him play chess at full speed. Early on, you saw it. Offensive Rookie of the Year, then back-to-back Pro Bowls, and a 2021 start where Arizona ripped off 7 straight wins and looked like the league's last unsolved puzzle. That 2021 version of Kyler wasn't just efficient. He was a problem. Arms had to widen. Safeties had to creep. Edges had to delay their rush because the escape lane could turn into 25 yards. Defenses played him like a glitch, because for a few months he was. Arizona felt brand new, and the trajectory was flat out up. Then the postseason arrived, and the bright lights were unkind. Arizona's fast start dissolved into a late slide, and the wild-card meltdown against the Rams became a talking point they couldn't shake. When a young quarterback gets tagged as great until January, it drags into the next year. People start hunting for reasons, habits, prep, leadership, anything that lets them explain the drop-off. The 2021 arc planted doubt that didn't fully go away. The franchise still bet big. In July 2022, Arizona pushed a mountain of chips to the center of the table. 5 years, $230.5 million. One of the richest quarterback deals in football. And then came the twist. An independent study clause in the contract that required weekly film work to be tracked. It wasn't just unusual. It felt like the team said the quiet part out loud about how they viewed their stars' habits. The backlash was instant. Within days, the Cardinals removed the clause, admitting it had become a distraction. But you can't always unring the bell. Everyone had seen it, and it left a mark on the trust between quarterback and team. Late in 2022, the worst possible scene. Murray planted and crumpled on a simple scramble, a non-contact ACL tear that ended his season and reset his timeline. A new front office and a new head coach arrived in 2023. And while no one said, "fresh start," out loud, a new regime always brings an audit. You don't inherit a quarterback at that price tag. You evaluate him. You measure the ceiling against the availability. You count the dollars and the calendar. And you ask whether the version you'll get post-injury is the one worth doubling down on. Fast forward to this season. Week 5 against Tennessee, Murray's foot gets tangled at the wrong angle, and what's first labeled as day-to-day becomes something far stickier. A midfoot sprain near the Lisfranc area, the kind of injury that laughs at optimistic timelines. He sits. The offense hands the wheel to Jacoby Brissett, and suddenly the group looks calmer, cleaner, a little more on schedule, enough to get everybody's attention. Within days of saying Kyler would be the guy when healthy, the Cardinals put him on injured reserve on November 5th, guaranteeing at least 4 more missed games. Brissett stays QB1 while Murray heals. In a results business, that's more than a depth chart. It's a message. And the short-run numbers make the conversation louder. Through 5 starts before IR, Murray had 962 yards, 6 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and was still the team's most dangerous runner, with 173 yards and a score. In 3 Brissett starts, Arizona's points per game ticked up, He posted approximately 860 yards, 6 touchdowns, 1 interception, and the Cowboys' win gave the locker room proof that the plan could work this way for now. That doesn't make Brissett the long-term answer. It just means the staff got clear tape, showing the offense can function without waiting on uncertain health coaches breathe easier when the easy throws are there on time and the ball keeps moving. This is the uncomfortable intersection for Arizona. The tape still says Kyler has tools you can't teach, and the season still says availability is a skill. Scheme-wise, Murray creates a second offense after the first read. You call a concept, it's covered, and he turns it into a backyard problem the defense isn't built to solve. But post-ACL, and now post-foot, you also need to ask how much of that second offense you can safely rely on. If the staff wants a system defined by rhythm and predictability, Brissett's steadying style can look attractive in the short term. The more this staff and front office feel that the day-to-day stress of waiting on health is bigger than the week-to-week upside, the more they'll lean toward certainty. Let's be blunt. The cap sheet is the loudest voice in the room. On paper, a straight release in 2026 would nuke the books with roughly $57.7 million in dead cap. That's the kind of number that gets front offices laughed out of owners' meetings. A pre-June 1st trade, by contrast, lands around $17.9 million in dead money, but saves about $35.3 million. A real lever if you're trying to retool a roster quickly. Those aren't opinions. They're math, and math tends to win in March. That's why, if Arizona truly decides to pivot, a trade is miles more logical than a cut. What complicates it? The acquiring team needs to buy both the player and his recovery curve. You're not just trading for the 2021 highlight reel. You're trading for the 2026 plus version that will exist after multiple lower body injuries and a scheme transition. If you're that team, you either 1, have a roster ready to win and need a ceiling raiser, or 2, have a coach who believes he can rebuild the operating system around Murray's strengths with patience and guardrails. Different outlets have floated different ideas because the league's needs change weekly. But the logic tree is consistent. Teams with win-now rosters that don't love their QB room, or retooling teams with offensive coaches who want dynamism under center. The pitch for Murray is simple. Elite traits, proven production at his best, and a chance to buy low relative to the peak hype. The risks are equally clear: durability and fit. That's why some proposals include Arizona eating a slice of cash to goose the return. Similar in spirit to how other pricey QB moves have been greased in recent years. Reporting around the league has made one thing obvious. A split is on the table, and people are reading the same cap lines we just walked through. Waiting until the new league year gives you better information. The medical rechecks, the actual trade market, the draft order, and whether Brissett or another bridge can hold serve while you invest elsewhere. Moving early, on the other hand, clarifies your budget and stance, lets you be aggressive in free agency, and can open the door to creative draft maneuvering. If Arizona believes its roster is close on defense and in the trenches, the $35 million plus in savings from a trade can fund 2 starters and a premium role player. If they believe they still need the QB ceiling to make it all sing, they'll keep kicking the decision down the road and hope the 2021 version reappears. For Murray, the path back isn't mystical, it's methodical. Healthy foot, full off-season in one system, then shrink the menu to what he does cruelly well. Boundary access throws off quick footwork, middle field digs off play action, and a designed run package that steals first downs without exposing him to needless hits. The benefit of a new environment is narrative control. In Arizona, every incompletion gets tied to the entire saga. In a new building, you can be the guy who unlocks motion-heavy, RPO sprinkled stress with a real vertical threat. The league is full of examples. QBs who looked cooked in one city and dangerous in another once the scheme met their rhythm. It's not a guarantee, it's a blueprint. If the foot lingers, if the lower body snap never fully returns, and if the next staff insists on fitting him into a pure timing world, the flashes will still be there, but the week-to-week consistency won't. That's how you become the center of a new cycle. Short deals, prove-it language, and constant context switching that kills continuity. Even while he's on IR, this month is shaping the decision. Every efficient Brissett outing nudges the front office toward pragmatism. Every defensive stand that turns a close game into a win tells them the roster can hold if they allocate money away from QB. And every positive report on Murray's rehab matters, because the medical grades determine whether the phone actually rings in March. The staff's public language has already shifted, from Kyler's "our guy" when he's healthy, to "we need him fully healthy." Jacoby starts this week. That's not shade. That's organizational risk management spoken out loud. It's wild to remember how this started. Oklahoma's track meet offense. The A's pick that felt like a parallel universe. The clean deep balls. The scoot and slide rushes. The early Pro Bowls. The 7-0 rocket ship. Then the stumble. The claws. The tear. And now the foot. If you wrote it as fiction, an editor would ask you to tone it down. Yet here we are. Arizona's most important decisions are no longer about designing a perfect spread for a joystick quarterback. They're about spreadsheets, timelines, and contingency planning. And still, because this is the NFL, one healthy offseason could make all of this look quaint. That's the paradox with a talent like Murray. You can talk yourself into caution or into upside in the same meeting, and both arguments sound convincing. So, the real answer to what happened? A little of everything. Injuries, expectations, trust, and timing. The 2021 glow created a bar that's hard to live under when your body fights you and your contract becomes a headline. The 2022 clause hit the one thing a quarterback can't afford to lose: universal buy-in. The 2025 foot injury arrived right when a steady veteran could show the room how a drive feels without drama. And the cap math makes tough choices feel inevitable. None of that erases the talent. It just changes how and where the story likely continues. All right, your turn. If you had to bet on one team giving Kyler a true reboot, who is it and why? Drop your pick below and tell me what system you'd want around him. If you're into deep dives, you'll like what's next. We're breaking down top 15 best NFL players of the 2000s and what that actually did to their games. See you there.